What about some of the other drivers you've worked with, Julian, in Formula One, and on the fringes of Formula One as well? But starting in Formula One, Coulthard, David Coulthard. How much have you done with him over the years?
When I left IMG to look after Ayrton full time, I kind of left behind, Alain and David Coulthard and Gilles de Ferran. They were all clients at the time, but I left them all behind. And I remember in 1994, after Ayrton died, so David took over, and he was in with Damon, and one of my ex-colleagues at IMG was looking after David, and he persuaded David to leave Williams and go to McLaren. And I tried to talk David out of it. I mean, I wasn't looking after any driver at the time, but I happened to see David several times, and I said, why would you leave the best car? So then the question for David would be, if he'd stayed, I mean, obviously I think he got paid more money at McLaren, and he was there, for 9 years?
Yeah.
So he didn't do so badly.
But he might have won the World Championship in a Williams in 1996.
He could well have won the World Championship in 95 when Damon won it, and 96 when Jack won it. In fact, Jack wouldn't have had the seat if David was still there. So I was very surprised when David left, because we brought Jack, who then won the World Championship. So David could and should have won the World Championship.
Okay, he's a man who could and should. What about Dario Franchitti, 3-time winner of the Indy 500? Why didn't he get a decent crack at F1?
Because he had a contract as a McLaren reserve driver.
What era are we talking? What year are we talking?
About 97, when Mercedes were the engine suppliers. And they wanted to keep him as reserve driver on a long-term contract. But I couldn't see how he could ever get into the team with DC and Mika Hakkinen as the two race drivers. And I probably wasn't wrong, because they were together, for 8 years, 9 years?
No other doors opened up for Dario,
There was the one chance of him getting into the Jaguar, which got buried in politics. I think if Jackie Stewart had still been running Jaguar, or it had been the Stewart Ford, Dario probably would have been in that car.
It's one of the great mysteries when Dario tested that Jaguar, that at Silverstone, the test didn't go well. And it's even to this day, I get conflicting stories about what actually happened.
I'm not entirely sure what happened, but it didn't go the way it should have done. And I think there was something odd, put it that way. Politics came into it. But I don't think that Dario regrets. I mean, he had a stellar career in America, 3 Indy 500s, 4 championships. It's not too bad.